All right, everybody. Uh, I'm back with another round of preseason predictions and preview videos. And for this series, I'm gonna go the basketball route, and I'm gonna cover the teams that I like and follow in the NBA. And I'm gonna start it off with the Chicago Bulls. Hailing from Illinois, I have to put the home state team first. So if there's any other team or teams outside of the Chicago Bulls that you may or may not like, then maybe maybe you'll see their video following this one. But anyway, um, with the Chicago Bulls, there's plenty of optimism, from at least from where I sit. Uh, Gar Forman is gone, John Paxson is gone, and thank goodness Jim Boylan is gone. And especially Jim Boylan with the record that he posted his 2 years that he was here. We went 39 and 84 with Jim Boylan, and I wouldn't, as far as Jim Boylan goes, I wouldn't hire him to be the coach of a basketball team at either your local high school or your local middle school, let alone a professional team in the NBA. It was just embarrassing. Excuse me, the way we performed under him. But that was then. This is now. Out with the old, in with the new, and especially it starts now with Billy Donovan. Um, Headlined by a new coach in Billy Donovan, a young core of talent in Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe White, and even Patrick Williams, who we drafted in the first round. We drafted him fourth overall. And I think that was the highest draft pick for the Chicago Bulls since we got Derrick Rose back in 2008. Derrick Rose in 2008, for those who remember, it was projected that the Chicago Bulls had approximately like a 1.3% chance in getting Derrick Rose, and we ended up getting him. But that's neither here nor there. That was 12 and a half years ago. But anyway, the Chicago Bulls are set for a fresh start in the 2020-2021 NBA season. And I think this is it. I think this is the time for them to shine. I mean, it really is. Show us what all you're made of. The players you got in free agency, uh, especially again, with Patrick Williams going fourth overall to the Bulls, that raised plenty of eyebrows, and especially mine. I literally had no idea who Patrick Williams was. I wouldn't have known him from a hole in the wall. And that's how little I followed his career. But after doing some research on him, I thought to myself, the Chicago Bulls made a good decision in picking him. So let's see how he pans out this year. I know he's only a rookie and he's only 19, but I don't expect him to come in and be the savior for the Chicago Bulls. Like a rookie sensation. I don't expect him to be the next big name like Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman or Derrick Rose or Michael Jordan or anything. But he's a very talented player, and what I had seen as far as how he played in college and various clips of him on YouTube. I'm glad that we got him in the draft. I really am. Um, where was I? Going into the season. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought for a minute. Um, we go into the season with a new head coach in Billy Donovan since getting rid of Jim Boylan. Again, Jim Boylan's hard-nosed style in terms of coaching had failed to win over a young locker room in the Chicago Bulls, and that ultimately led to his firing. Plus, in my opinion, he doesn't know how to coach. I mean, I know nothing of coaching either, but I can tell you this much: I at least would have made a much better coach than Jim Boylan. I mean, any one of you out there watching this video, whenever that time comes, I would take either one of you over Jim Boylan to be a head coach for the Chicago Bulls or any team in general. But Billy Donovan, he seems to be a great fit in terms of Chicago. That appeared to be the general consensus when he got hired. Given his experience working with younger players at the college level, I believe, speaking of Patrick Williams, Billy Donovan was the basketball coach at Florida. Or was it Florida State? No, Billy Donovan was the coach of Florida. I'm sorry. Patrick Williams went to Florida State. So, something having to do with Florida was right. But anyway, more recently, Billy Donovan took the Oklahoma City Thunder to the playoffs during his tenure there, and maybe that'll happen with the Bulls. I don't know about this year, but maybe it'll happen the following year. In the 2021-2022 NBA season, maybe the Bulls make the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe I'll even make a video during that time, but we'll see. But Billy Donovan, he has a winning percentage of .608 in his 5 years as head coach, and I believe he's either 16th or 17th amongst coaches with at least 100 games. And only 3 current head coaches can lay claim to that a better record. Greg Popovich with .675 winning percentage from the San Antonio Spurs, another one of my all-time favorite basketball teams. I'll get to them later. Steve Kerr from the Golden State Warriors, former Chicago Bulls player. He has a .709 winning percentage, and Nick Nurse from the Toronto Raptors, I want to say. I think he's the head coach of the Raptors. I could be wrong. But he has a .721 winning percentage. So good showing for them in terms of their respective coaching careers. But going back to Billy Donovan, though, I think the real tests that he's going to face going into this season, he's going to have 2 things: establishment of an identity and finding consistency. On paper, the Bulls have a rather talented roster, especially as far as the young players that we have. But we have yet to be able to consistently put the same team on the floor due to injuries. I mean, we have the talent. The talent is there. But if you had guys like Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., and Lauri Markkanen, not getting injured as often as they did last year and or the year before, it would be a completely different team, at least how I see it. Because over the past 2 years, the Bulls' development has been halted by a string of injuries to some of the best guys. And again, Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., and Lauri Markkanen, and they happen to make the list. And I had to copy and paste a list on a webpage, or I think it was the Chicago Tribune or some NBA blog somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but kind of cheating here looking at my notes, but I have to in this case. In the 2018-2019 season, as far as games missed, Lauri Markkanen missed 30 games. 2019-2020, he missed 15, so that was reduced to half. Wendell Carter Jr. in 2018-2019, he missed 38 games. 2019-2020, he misses 22. Otto Porter Jr. in 2018-2019, he missed 67 games. 2019-2020, he missed 51. But Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter Jr., they struggled to stay on the floor for the most part. And while Lauri Markkanen suffered a huge drop in production last year after being relegated to the role of a spot-up shooter, his production took a real toll. I mean, in his second year, after averaging 9 rebounds and I think the exact stat was 18.8 points. It was 18.8. Let's just round up and say 19. his production fell to 6.5 rebounds and about 15 points. I think the exact stat said 14.7 or something. Let's say 15. 15 points and 6.5 rebounds. He saw less of the ball while fewer plays were being called for him, and that was another one of the many things that that Jim Boylan got criticism for, and rightfully so too. I mean, he not only knew not how to coach, but also as far as the overall handling of the roster. Again, I or any of you watching this video would have made one heck of a better coach than what Jim Boylan would have. I can tell you that much right now. Those 2 years where he was the coach of the Bulls, there were 2 years too long. He never should have gotten hired on. But that's another story for another day. Wendell Carter Jr. He's looking to focus on being available for the full season, and I hope he doesn't have another round of games where he misses because of injuries or anything of that nature, because we could use him, especially Lauri Markkanen also. It would be nice to see that tandem on the floor again. But on the other hand, it would also be nice to see if we still had Chris Dunn on the roster, but he ended up going to the Atlanta Hawks. I believe in free agency. He ended up going to the Hawks, and that was a real pain. In my book, it was. I wish he was still here, but it's ancient history. So, Wendell Carter Jr., he's also looking to improve on his two-way wing play, and many people expected that to define him entering the league. But if he can stay healthy and not miss any games due to injuries, that's going to be a real interesting sight, especially for him. I think for the Bulls, overall for the Bulls, guys, I just don't know. I think we're going to need guys to make big jumps after entering a new season. Much worse off compared to what we were defensively last year. I mean, again, Jim Boylan is gone, Gar Forman is gone, John Paxson is gone, Billy Donovan is in, and he's going to. I think he's going to make some changes as far as the coaching and the team and how he handles the roster. I can pretty much picture that, being more positive uptick for the team. Making the playoffs. I want to play the devout Chicago fan card as far as the Chicago Bulls. And say, oh yeah, we're going all the way to the playoffs. The Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons and the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Cleveland Cavaliers don't stand a chance. We're going all the way. We're lucky we maybe finish second place when we squeeze into the playoffs. I can't say that, but would it be nice to see the Bulls go to the postseason? Absolutely. I think if my memory serves correctly, I think the last time the Chicago Bulls made the postseason was in the 2016-2017 NBA season when we got eliminated in the first round by the Boston Celtics, my number 2 favorite basketball team. I'll go into that video. I'll go into that in another video within the next day or two. But anyway, the last time the Chicago Bulls made the postseason, I want to say again, was in the 2016-2017 season. We had Dwayne Wade on the roster. I think we had Fred Hoiberg as our coach at that time. Yeah. Fred Hoiberg as coach of the Chicago Bulls and going into the postseason. Who'd have thunk it? Then again, stranger things have happened. I mean, perfect example, look in the NFL. The once undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers had a record of 11-0 going into a game against the Washington Redskins 2.5 weeks ago. They suffered their first loss of the season at the hands of the Washington Redskins, and the New York Jets could be the third team in 12 years to go 0-16. So stranger stranger things have in fact happened. But with the Chicago Bulls, I want to see them make the postseason. I don't know. I don't know if they will. It would be nice if they do. But looking at it realistically, I think they maybe finish the season 27-45, and they place third in the Central Division. I mean, would it be better than last season and or the year before with Jim Boylan? Of course. You know, at least you got a couple more wins under your belt under Billy Donovan than what you would have with Jim Boylan. But finishing third in the Central Division with a record of 27-45, that sounds about accurate. Maybe the Bulls will prove me wrong this year. Maybe they'll get some more wins and losses than that. And maybe, just maybe, squeeze into the playoffs. Again, maybe. But that would be rather nice. I think Chicago Bulls fans everywhere, including myself, would really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, that being said, I apologize if this video didn't come out that great, but let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts, and Volume 2 should be coming up within the next day or two. And I will be going over my predictions, thoughts, etc., going for my number 2 all-time favorite NBA team, and that would be the Boston Celtics. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for my Boston Celtics video, and take it easy. If in the event or events you haven't done so already, please follow me on Instagram, PlayStation Network, subscribe to my YouTube page, and I'm also on several other platforms. I believe I can't remember the name of it now. It's literally on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it, but be that as it may, give a like, drop comments, keep showing support for the page, keep an eye out for more content in the future, and that's really about it. So have a good night. Talk to you guys later.